Good afternoon, everyone. It is Thursday, November 6th, 2025 at approximately 1 p.m. This is the regular meeting of the Rancho Mirage City Council and Community Services District, Energy Authority, Housing Authority, Joint Powers Finance Authority, Library and Observatory, and Redevelopment Successor Boards. I will now ask you to please join me in a salute to the flag and our great country. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. May we have roll call, please?
Councilmember Downs?
I'm here.
Councilmember Fromberg-Edelstein?
Here.
Councilmember O'Keefe?
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Mulatto?
Here.
And Mayor Weil.
Here. We have several presentations today, and I will start with a very exciting moment. And this is a performance of the Star Spangled Banner by the Coachella a cappella. Alan Scott, Artistic Director. If you would be kind enough, Alan, to come forward and introduce your group.
Good afternoon, Mayor and Council and City staff and community members. On behalf of the Women of Coachella A Cappella Women's Chorus, I want to tell you how delighted we are to be here to sing the national anthem for you today. Though technically we are in Palm Springs because it's at my mailing address, we've been rehearsing at Rancho Mirage High School since July of 2019. So even though some of our members are Rancho Mirage citizens, the rest of us like to think of ourselves as honorary citizens. We have about 17 people in our chorus and about 10 people in our youth outreach programs in Rancho Mirage High School, Palm Springs High School, Desert Hot Springs High School, and hoping to get Cathedral City High School next year. We're delighted to be here and present the national anthem. Thank you.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose rough stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Alan, thank you very much. That was wonderful. What a great way to start a meeting. That was terrific. Thank you, ladies, for all that you do. That was great. Our second presentation is to Betty Ann Sherrill, who is the legislative chairperson for the Retired Teachers Week. And if Betty Sherrill, if you'll join me. And good morning to you.
Good morning, Mayor. Nice
Thank
to meet you.
Nice to see you. Good morning.
This is Maggie Hamilton,
Maggie,
Nancy Hawes. Nice to meet you.
nice to meet you all. You've got some notes, and I want to
I do.
present this to you. And this is a proclamation
Yes.
recognizing California Retired Teachers Week. And it was founded, as you know, by Laura Settle in 1929 at the start of the Great Depression. The California Teachers Association provides continuing support to active and future teachers, including grants and scholarships and donations. A vast majority of the retired teachers share a commitment to improving their communities through volunteer activities, which I know you do regularly.
Yes.
Statewide, teachers can be found serving their communities through a host of activities. Last year, as you know, the retired teachers provided over 27,000 hours of volunteer service, valued at well in excess of $1 million. And thank you so much for your service. Ladies, thank you. The annual dollar of volunteer time donated statewide by retired teachers reached more than $42 million during the most recent reporting period. That's incredible.
Yes,
So you sure work hard, I know that.
we do.
So therefore be it resolved that I, Ted Weil, Mayor of the City of Rancho Mirage, and on behalf of the entire City Council, my colleagues right here, we honor you, we hand you this seal of the City of Rancho Mirage. We honor you with the proclamation, and we're honored to have you here today. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Well, thank you, Mayor and the City Council. I brought a little lesson plan of what to say. On behalf of the California Teachers Association Division 43, which covers Palm Springs, which Pam represents, Desert Sands, which Maggie represents, Coachella, which I represent, and Palo Verde, which not Nancy, she represents Bellflower. She retired into our valley. We want to thank you for recognizing the valuable contributions that retired teachers make to our valley. As working teachers, we of course contributed to our valley, and now as retired teachers, we continue to do so. And yes, we did contribute 27,000 hours here in the valley, which is worth over $1 million, but we also very much enjoy contributing our pensions to the valley too. So we appreciate everything the valley offers to us, and we know the valley appreciates what we offer back to them. So thank you very much for this beautiful proclamation and recognition.
Well deserved. We're honored to have you here today. Ladies, thank you so much for all the time that you put in, and you're welcome to come back and join us at any time.
Thank you. Well, we're residents, so you might see that.
Good. That's even, that makes you even more valuable as far as I'm concerned.
Thank you.
Anyway, thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you.
Thank you, ladies.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you.
What a nice way to start the meeting. On a positive, positive tone with good feelings. With that, we will now move into council member comments. And I will start with, on my left, I will call upon council member Michael O'Keefe to start us off today.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Could I say we should start every council meeting with a cappella music? That was fantastic. And thanks to the teachers also that are here today. This past week, we paid tribute to Dana Hobart, whose vision for the city was unparalleled. He provided an elevated quality of life for our residents that we're going to enjoy for years to come. And so I'd like to point out today a few things that I'm looking forward to over the next week. First, the Rancho Mirage Certified Farmers Market returns tomorrow to the community park from 8 o'clock till 2. The market will now feature some of the enhancements you may have read about or seen when our recent park expansion. That includes the newly completed parking lots, the pedestrian improvements. It's a lot safer to walk there now. Some of those will be wrapping up in the coming weeks. It's a great opportunity to come out, enjoy the park, and support our local vendors. And also, something I'm even more excited about, because you all know my passion for animal adoption. I'm thrilled to share that we've partnered with the Canyon Creek Mushrooms. They are the operators of the farmers market, and tomorrow we'll be hosting the Riverside County Animal Services special free dog adoption event tomorrow during the market. So please come by the Rancho Mirage Certified Market, support your local vendors, and you might just meet your new four-legged family member. Your best friend may be waiting for you there. I'd also like to say that 2 weeks ago, Desert Theatricals staged The Addams Family at the amphitheater. It was a wonderful musical that was one of their best productions. And then this past Saturday, almost 1,000 guests were treated to an incredible evening with the Coachella Valley Symphony, performing with 4 vocalists from the Palm Springs Opera Guild. It was a magical evening with arias and duets, sublime music. It was the perfect Rancho Mirage event at our beautiful amphitheater. I want to compliment our city's event specialist, Haley Tice, who not only created this program, but also shepherded it and executed it flawlessly. I cannot imagine that Mayor Hobart could have hoped for more than this wonderful event at the beloved amphitheater. And finally, I am pleased to tell you that our city will be represented in the Palm Springs Pride Parade this Sunday. As a city that routinely scores the highest possible score on the Municipal Equality Index, I am proud that we support the LGBT community and equal rights for all. Our city is a great city that welcomes everyone. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Michael. I will now call upon Councilmember Eve Fromberg Edelstein for any comments that she might have.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I just really quickly wanted to mention the Children's Discovery Museum of the Desert hosted their Halloween Fest on Halloween from 3 to 5, and they had 1,200 attendees for 3 hours of trick-or-treating, arts and crafts, ghosts, spiders and spider webs, and monster puppets, and activity centers. And they even had a mystery box competition where you put your hand into a box and you had to guess what it was, of bats' ears and mice tails and something that was supposedly carrots, but I still don't believe it was actually carrots. But it was really fun, a lot of really small children. And I have to say, as I remember being raised here and raising a son here, trick-or-treating is a hard thing to find in this valley, especially West Valley. Neighborhoods where there's enough residents in October with homes and candy and taking home little kids that are crying because no one saw their costume and they didn't get enough Reese's peanut butter cups. And so it's such a special event when organizations like the Children's Discovery Museum or the Living Desert have Halloween fairs for children, especially the little ones, where you can Halloween trick-or-treat safely. You don't have to worry about the candy. You don't have to worry about any problems and safety, and it's not dark at night and where there's no lights. So I really want to commend Cindy and her staff for putting on such an incredible day. The museum was decorated, and this was free of charge to the community, which is huge. And if you saw the amount of families, for people that don't think that we have young growing families in this valley, they'd be sorely mistaken, because there were a lot of little ghosts and little Mickey Mouses and little H-pop, K-pops and all sorts of things, the costume of the year, a lot of 6-7 couples. It was very exciting. And anyways, I just want to commend their staff. My son and I volunteered, and it was a great day. So again, that museum does a lot more than you see. And it's also important to recognize that that city is now in a great community partnership with Catino, bringing some Disney programming as well to their community events. So keep your eye on the museum. It's doing great things. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, another contribution to, our wonderful community. Mayor Pro Tem Lynn Mulatto.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Well, building on my colleagues' Halloween celebrations, last week, Dia de los Muertos celebration was presented by the Rancho Mirage Cultural Commission, and this event also was free and open to the public, open to people of all ages. And as the library this year celebrates its 30th birthday, Dia de los Muertos celebration has become a community tradition to celebrate and remember those that are no longer with us by way of this annual, bright, colorful, spirited event. People participated in making masks, different crafts. We ate some wonderful little pastries. And then everyone was treated to a phenomenal concert that evening by Jarabe Mexicano. And everyone was on their feet. They were singing along. It was truly phenomenal. If you're not familiar with the Rancho Mirage Library, I encourage you to get a library card, and you too can come to a lot of free events. It's a spectacular resource, not only for Rancho Mirage residents, but we have many residents that come from other cities. So congratulations to Sally Trademan, who's the chairman of the Cultural Commission, and to our library staff, who never cease to amaze me what they pull out of the hat in providing special events for our citizens. Another topic I'd like to talk about for just a minute, we're all aware of, on a national level, of the many proposed cuts. Some are real, some have yet to happen. We're trying to be proactive and preemptive to help our most vulnerable, our seniors, and those that need services. I'm working with my colleague, Councilmember Eve Fromberg. I want to say special thanks to Eisenhower Medical Center and Marcus Alleman from our Housing Authority. We scheduled a flu shot clinic over at San Jacinto Villas, one of our senior housing developments. It'll be the first of what we hope to be a few health fairs that will not only provide resources, health resources, but other resources. I had the opportunity in speaking with the nurses that came to this event, two of which interface with social workers. These cuts are real. And what people are experiencing is very real. And they shared an experience. An elderly gentleman who was on the SNAP program, lost his SNAP benefits for food. So, and coincidentally, in the same week, he had a flat tire. And what do you fix first? Fix the flat tire, no food, didn't have the money for the medications. And the unfortunate thing is it's a domino effect. And this gentleman ended up in the urgent care. Well, you know, I understand that some legislators back in Washington think, well, the urgent cares or the emergency rooms are a safety net. But if you multiply that by the millions, your usual 4.5-hour wait in the ER or in the urgent care can now double, triple, quadruple in time. Resources are slim. So, as I mentioned, we're trying to be proactive and preemptive. We'll be working with Eisenhower Medical Center, and great thanks to them. They're a wonderful community partner. We'll be unveiling next steps and ideas as to how we can meet the community's needs. Food is a scarcity at this point in time. Many people are participating at our food banks. If you're not a member of the Jocelyn Senior Center, the cities of Indian Wells, Palm Desert, and Rancho Mirage support the Jocelyn Senior Center, which is located in Palm Desert on Catalina Way. They have a multitude of programs and resources that are available to you, including a food pantry on Friday. If you need those services, please go and sign up for a membership at Jocelyn Senior Center. There are many, many resources available. Many people are afraid to ask or maybe feel they don't deserve those programs. You do deserve to participate. You paid taxes all your life. You worked hard all your life. Everybody needs a little help once in a while, and we're here to help in whatever way we can. And that's it from me.
Well expressed. The Jocelyn Center is remarkable. The programs that they have, I mean, they are so varied. It can be from learning Spanish to knitting to dancing. It is just a wonderful social environment that frankly provides a great deal of companionship for so many people. They just do a remarkable job. Can't say enough good things about the center. I'll now call upon Councilmember Steve Downs. Steve, if you would, please.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. So I appreciate Mayor Pro Tem Milato's comments about the government shutdown. I think it was maybe at our last council meeting I mentioned that the last time we had a government shutdown because of budget issues in the city of Rancho Mirage was never. And it would be great if our representatives in Washington, D.C. could take a page out of the way that we run business in our local governments here in the Coachella Valley. I want to talk about a couple of things today, Mr. Mayor. First, I want to talk about conflicts of interest. It was about a year ago that we passed a conflict of interest resolution here in this council. And I also want to give a very brief report on a recent CVAG Traffic Committee meeting. So on the conflict of interest issue, it was September 19th of 2024 that this council unanimously voted to adopt a conflict of interest procedure. New vendors for the city submit a form, and the form is designed to let us know if a council member will benefit financially from the business that we do with that vendor. And it's important to be aware if a council member will benefit, because that obviously could lead to a conflict of interest issue. It's a pretty simple form. It's up on the screen now, and it asks new vendors to answer a very simple question. As a result of this contract or payment, does a current council member or council member's business have a reasonably foreseeable financial interest in this contract or payment? Yes or no? Pretty simple. I think all of you want us to know that. Now, we do have a former council member who resigned over this issue. She said it was designed to keep business people off the council. She did not want to be subject to this conflict of interest procedure. She didn't seem to have a good idea as to what the procedure would do, as she used an example of how the procedure might prevent a council member from doing business with the city, which itself is against the law. So she used an example that was against the law. And she suggested that those responsible for this decision should be held accountable by the voters. Well, I am happy to be held accountable by every one of you in this room for engaging in conflict of interest regulations that prevent problems for this city, and I think all of my colleagues would agree with that. Now, she resigned and she left the chamber in the middle of that council meeting, and after she left the chamber, the measure unanimously passed. Now, as this was adopted more than 1 year ago, I wanted to check to see if this procedure has been the problem that the former council member claimed it would be. So here's a couple of answers. First, I checked with city administration, and there have been a number of these forms that have been submitted by new vendors over the past year. Not one time have we had a conflict of interest issue, not once. And it's also the case that we have a couple of members of this council who continue to work professionally. And not a single time has this been a problem for either one of them. So I'd have to say that this procedure has been a success. We've had no issues in dealing with vendors. We've had no issues for our council members who are still engaged in professional careers. And the Rancho Mirage public has been and will continue to be protected from the dangers of conflict of interest. And we also, as a result, have our newest council member who has been doing a great job for our city, Councilmember Eve Fromberg-Edelstein. Thank you. So the second thing I wanted to talk about is just a brief report on the most recent CVAG CVAG Traffic Committee, which was Monday. We had a presentation from the Caltrans District Director responsible for Riverside County, and he shared with us I-10 projects that affect the Coachella Valley, stretching from Banning to the California border with Arizona. Let's go to that next slide. So these are the various projects that he brought us up to speed on. These are 10 pavement projects that cover about a 15-year period from a project that was completed prior to 2020 to those projects that run through 2035. Now, these projects were a significant portion, these are projects where a significant portion of the pavement is ground away and new pavement is poured. The purpose is to keep the roadways in good working condition for the public and to assure our economy continues to flourish. As I think we all know, the I-10 is a major trucking and logistics corridor, and it supports the economy of this entire desert. So the new concrete pour is similar, by the way, to resurfacing a material that we use in Rancho Mirage. There's a rubberized compound that is added to the repour of the concrete. And it results in a smoother ride for all of us. It results in less wear and tear on our vehicles, and it's better environmentally. There is a lower road surface temperature as a result. Now, here's what's, I think, important for all of us to know. Total funding for these projects over that 15-year period is $1.235 billion, or an average of about $75 to $100 million annually to keep the economy rolling in this desert. So it's important, I think, for the public to be aware of what Caltrans, what the Southern California Association of Governments, what the Riverside County Transportation Commission, and what CVAG are doing to keep traffic and our economy rolling. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Steve. And indeed, there's a lot going on. I'll make a couple of very brief comments. Councilmember O'Keefe mentioned the memorial service on Tuesday for Dana Hobart, who passed away several weeks ago. Dana's contributions to the city are legendary. One of the things Michael mentioned that he's very fond of is the animal shelters. And Dana often, as you might recall, would have dogs here at the meeting, and he would use the expression that if you want to bring a little love into your life, get a dog. And he did that regularly with great conviction, and indeed he lived by it because he and his wife Vicki adopted a number of dogs. The other thing that I'll mention is that 2 weeks ago we had, a week ago we had a State of the City, and I want to congratulate the great job that our chamber did in coordinating that event. And I also want to thank our marketing department for everything that they did to put this together. And the marketing department coordinated it with all of the departments in the city. Everyone played a role. And frankly, it highlighted the things that are most important to the city, things that are going on now that I think that were described in great detail. I mean, in addition, of course, to the major master plan community, Catino, which was discussed in detail, but we also talked about our affordable housing and the necessity for creating housing for the workforce that provides services for our hospitality area, for the doctors and nurses that work at Eisenhower, and so forth. Every one of the departments were heralded. We talked about our building department and our development resources. And I will tell you this, that we're a city that has very concerned details as far as the quality of our projects. Yet on the other hand, we do not want to make it so difficult for somebody to come into our city and develop a project. We want to make it easy for them. Consequently, we encourage them to meet with our planning director, and she will lead them along a path and let them know what will work and what will not work so that they don't waste time and or their money before developing a project. And it has worked out extremely well. So again, thank you for an incredible State of the City presentation, marketing. You should be applauded. Thank you so very much. With that, I will now go into our city manager comments and ask him to handle that, and if not, segue directly into the consent calendar.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. No comments today, so we'll jump right into the consent calendar. The council has items 5A through 5I on the consent calendar. Item 5A is to waive the full reading of any ordinance introduced or adopted pursuant to this agenda. Item 5B is the October 16th, 2025 regular city council meeting minutes. Item 5C is the October 28th, 2025 special city council meeting minutes for State of the City. Item 5D is to appoint Mark Jacobs to the Rancho Mirage Traffic Safety Commission. Item 5E is the City Capital Project CP 14-313, congestion mitigation and sand fence installation, with a recommendation to reject all bids. Item 5F is to adopt a resolution to approve the Coachella Valley Association of Governments, CVAG, Transportation Uniform Mitigation Fee, TUMF, inflation adjustment. Item 5G is the extension of completion date for parcel map number 38106. Item 5H is to receive and file the September 30th, 2025 quarterly treasurer's report. And item 5I are the demands. Before we go to any council comments or questions, I'll ask the city clerk to take any public comment on the consent calendar.
Thank you. I did not receive any speaker cards. Is there anyone who would like to speak on an item on the consent calendar? No speakers.
Thank you. I will now ask for any council comments as it relates to the consent calendar. Seeing none, I will ask for a motion to approve the consent calendar.
I'll make the motion to approve the consent calendar as read.
I'll second.
There's a motion and a second. Please vote.
It did. I'm waiting on Councilmember O'Keefe. Could you try yours one more time?
Do a roll call vote.
Okay. Right. Sorry about that. Councilmember Downs?
Yes.
Councilmember Fromberg Edelstein? Yes. Councilmember O'Keefe?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Mulatto?
Yes.
Mayor Weil?
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0.
Mr. Mayor, can we have a 1-minute recess to fix this issue?
Or move chairs.
We are now in recess for a moment. dash 0003, and it's going to be presented by Joy Tsai, Senior Planner. Joy, if you would, please.
Good afternoon, Mayor, members of the City Council. For your consideration today is tentative track map number 38636. Entitlement applications for this project include environmental assessment case number EA 23-0003, variance case number VAR 24-0002, and tentative track map case number TTM 23-0001. Today's request is for the approval to subdivide 5.04 gross acres into 9 single-family lots with lot sizes ranging from 16,122 to 16,841 square feet, and to grant a variance reducing the minimum lot size requirement from 18,000 to 16,000 square feet. There are no residential development plans proposed with this request. The subject property is a corner lot located at the northeast corner of Ginger Rogers Road and Landy Lane. The project site is zoned RL2 for very low density residential. Existing single-family residences in the Siena Vista and Echo developments are located to the north and east. There is a vacant lot zoned for office uses to the west and a vacant lot zoned for residential uses to the south. The project site lies well within a low-density residential context, surrounded predominantly by similar single-family developments. The subdivision proposes 9 residential lots accessed by a private cul-de-sac street off Ginger Rogers Road and includes common area lots for the private street, perimeter landscaping, and 2 retention basins. The residential subdivision will be gated with access to the lots provided by the private cul-de-sac street off Ginger Rogers Road. The topography is near the elevation of adjacent properties and roadways with an average elevation of 326 feet above mean sea level. The project's grading and drainage design ensures that all stormwater will be contained on site. The proposed subdivision complies with the city's development code standards pertaining to the project density and lot dimensions. The proposed project density is 1.78 dwelling units per acre, which is under the maximum allowable density of 2 units per acre in the RL2 zone. All the project's development standards are met except for the minimum lot size, which is being mitigated by this variance. The property will be able to meet the development standards without the right-of-way dedications on both street frontages, which results in constraints not shared by interior lots in this area. Any future development will be required to go through the development review process and must comply with development standards for the underlying zoning district. Overall, the subdivision design mirrors existing residential subdivisions that have 9 lots, such as Echo, Linnea, and Siena Vista. A conceptual landscape plan has been submitted for the common areas. The desert-appropriate palette includes acacia trees, fruitless olive trees, and day palms, and accent shrubs and ground covers. In addition, the perimeter walls and fencing will match adjacent communities to maintain visual continuity. The project has been designed to comply with the city's landscape standards and the Section 30 design guidelines. An environmental assessment form was submitted for this project, and the determination was made that the project required an initial study. An initial study has been prepared, resulting in the recommendation to adopt a mitigated negative declaration. As a part of the subdivision review, staff routed the project for comments to city departments and responsible agencies, and any applicable comments received have been incorporated into the conditions of approval. The proposed subdivision, with approval of a variance, is in conformance with the city's general plan and zoning, Section 30 design guidelines, and all applicable requirements of the Subdivision Map Act. The subdivision design mirrors other 9-lot residential subdivisions in the neighborhood. No public comments have been received for the City Council. Any public comments received for the Planning Commission are included in an agenda packet. On October 9, 2025, the Planning Commission recommended approval of the project by 4-0 vote, recommending that the City Council approve 1, the filing of a mitigated negative declaration, 2, variance case number VAR 24-0002, and 3, tentative track map case number TTM 23-0001, subject to the conditions of approval and based on the content and findings in the staff report. This concludes my presentation, and I'd be happy to address any questions the council may have. Thank you.
Thank you, Joy. Are there any public comments regarding this item?
I did not receive any speaker cards for this item. Is there anyone in the audience who would like to provide public testimony for public hearing item 6A? No speakers.
Are there any council comments regarding this item?
Mr. Mayor, I do have a couple of questions, if I may. So I'm pretty sure I understand this. We're talking about 9 parcels on 5 acres, so we're not violating the zoning integrity. It's still going to be RL2. The only thing we're asked to do here is to reduce lot size by about 10% from 18,000 to between 16 and 17,000, which is still a pretty sizable lot size, correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. Condition of approval number 32, it's a blow sand mitigation plan. What do we typically expect them to submit to us, a developer to submit to us with respect to blow sand mitigation?
I'll jump in on that one if you would, Councilmember Downs. There are some very standard BMPs that you see, best practices in the field, construction fencing, active and regular watering. You'll see at the storm drain inlets, they'll have certain sandbags to keep some of the water and dust and debris from getting into our storm drain system. Mostly, it's the things that you're already used to seeing out there. Pre-watering a site to make sure you're not just pushing around dust and things of that nature.
Do we have some guidelines that we provide to a developer so that they can prepare
Yes.
a mitigation plan?
Yes, in fact, it's one of the many things that we're doing with an initial grading plan effort is addressing that right there.
Okay. All right, second question that I have is with respect to the location of this, of these parcels. This is in the section of the city that where energy is delivered by IID, correct? And so we approved a partnership with the county, with Palm Desert, the city of Palm Desert, and the Berger Foundation so that a substation could be built up there to service that part of the city. How are we planning to recover costs from developers for that substation? And do we have a plan to recover from the developer of these parcels?
Yeah, so I'll take that one since I've been working with IID. The capacity that the city is procuring through the partnership that you referenced is actually project specific to our affordable housing developments. So this project is not part of that capacity project. So they will have to go to IID and pay for that on their own.
Got it. Okay. Thank you. That's all I have.
Thank you. Are there any other council comments? Seeing none, I will ask for a motion, please.
I'll make the motion that we approve the filing of the mitigated negative declaration SCH number 2025-051-428 based on environmental assessment case number EA23-0003. And number 2, approve variance case number VAR 24-0002. And number 3, approve tentative track map case number TTM 23-001, TTM 38636, subject to the conditions of approval and based on the content and findings in the staff report.
I'll second.
There is a motion and a second. Please vote.
Motion carries 5-0.
Thank you. We will now go to the item 6B on our public hearings, and that's environmental assessment case number EA 24-0009, and that's going to be presented by Ben Torres, our planning manager. If you would, Ben.
Mr. Mayor and Council, staff would actually like to request that the item 6B be continued to the November 20th City Council meeting to allow staff to further more time to analyze and address some of the comments we received during the comment period and to further identify the best practices for circulation in the area. We'd like to go ahead and do the presentation at this time since we do have some residents in the audience and allow for public comments, but recommend that the action to continue the item to November 20th be taken.
Okay, why don't we go ahead and take the comments now, and then, if,
Ben can give his report, and then we'll go to public comment.
yeah. Okay, Ben?
Good afternoon, Mayor and City Council members. I'll now give a brief overview of the project, and I'll provide a detailed presentation at the upcoming November 20th City Council meeting. So we'll just wait for the presentation to pop up here on the screen. Perfect. So the 19.81 acre project site currently consists of 8 parcels and is located north from the intersection of Mirage Cove Drive and Peterson Road. The project site has street frontages along Mirage Cove Drive, Nielsen Road, Peterson Road, and Kelly Lane. The existing general plan and zoning designation for the project site is residential estate. The project site is mostly surrounded by properties also zoned residential estate, but some portions to the north are next to the Whitewater Storm Channel, some portions to the west next to a mobile home park, and a small portion to the south is next to medium-density residential zoned land. The proposed project will subdivide 19.81 acres, as I previously mentioned, into 16 single-family residential lots. No single-family residence architectural plans are currently proposed as part of this project. The applicant has confirmed that access to the proposed parcels will be from Peterson Road. The 2 yellow parcels shown here on the screen are part of the minor variance request, and a 2% reduction in the minimum 1 acre lot size is requested due to these parcels requiring right-of-way dedications along 3 street frontages. The proposed single-family residential parcels will range in size from 0.98 acres to 1.55 acres for an overall project density of 0.9 units per acre. On screen is the first phase of the subdivision. The proposed subdivision complies with the city's development standards pertaining to minimum lot size, density, dimensions for the residential estate zone with the proposed minor variance. And then this shows the second phase of the project, which is the northern half of the project site, which will involve the subdivision and development of the remaining 7 parcels. Each parcel will have its own retention basin to manage stormwater on site and complies with all municipal code regulations. I will now turn it over to Mr. Stendel to discuss circulation within the neighborhood.
So, as Mr. Torres mentioned, we'll be bringing this back at the 20th meeting, which will have some likely subsequent slides. But if I can keep that PowerPoint presentation back up, there's a couple of additional slides related to circulation that I'd like to present. Peterson Road and area is generally, as Ben's mentioned, bound by Highway 111 and accessed via Mirage Cove Drive and Peterson Road, as identified in the orange oval on the screen, and the project site laid in light orange as well. One of the biggest comments and questions that we get out there is related to the existing infrastructure. And what we've got on screen right now is a 1981 plan that was approved for the circulation network for the neighborhood. This is what was supposed to be built, and it's interesting, in that specific plan, there was no mention of whether or not these were public roadways or private roadways. This was just the layout that the community had designed at that point. As you'll note, you have the 2 entrances, Mirage Cove and Peterson Road, with 3 smaller streets, smaller lot streets, Elmwood, Nielsen, and then paralleling Peterson Road. We have a network of horse trails with the intent of accessing the Whitewater River Channel and ultimately now the Butler-Abrams Trail as we know it. Real quickly, where we're at today is a little bit more about what we've got on the screen here and laid in with the project site. We have a couple of fully improved roadways, which is largely Peterson Road and Mirage Cove. Little bits, or a street, Desert Cove Avenue, and a small portion of Kelly are also fully improved. The areas I've indicated with the dashed line, which are a bit hard to see on the screen, would be Elmwood, Nielsen, Peterson, and portions of Kelly. And when I say partially improved roadways, that's probably an overstatement. If you've been out there, there's dirt and some combination of decaying asphalt existing out there in the field. We do have the one existing connection to Butler Abrams Trail that exists on Desert Cove Avenue, and we do have access, an access point easement on the north side right now that's adjacent to this residential project that we'll discuss at a future meeting. So that's essentially what we have out there, which is we do have a planned street network and we do have an existing condition that's nowhere near that. And as both Mina and Ben have mentioned, a lot of the comments received from the public revolve around that circulation. So we thought it was wise to maybe take a bit more time to analyze that and see if we could come to some solutions. So that concludes my portion of the report. I'll pass it back to Ben, Mina, if there's anything else.
I believe that concludes staff's presentation.
All right. We will now then go to public comments.
Thank you. The first speaker is Janine Barr.
Hi, I'm Janine Barr. I've lived in the desert since 1963. I originally moved to Rancho Mirage in 91 on Jamie Way, which is a dead-end street. And then we built a house at 45 Clancy Lane South, which is on a cul-de-sac. And I now have property at Nielsen and Elmwood that are both dead-end streets. And I just want to tell you, we're okay with everything that you guys want to do with these lots. The only thing I'm concerned about is the road connections at my street. At the last meeting, I was told that there were no easements on my property, but February 1st of 2022, I got an email from Leland Cole that referenced a 15-foot either a horse trail or street easement on my north side. And then I got a topographical map from my engineer that also showed that easement. So I'm not sure if you've abandoned it or if I don't know, but there is an easement there because my fence is off of that. So while we're okay with what's going on with the property, we would like to have a discussion, and I'm really glad it's going to be waiting. We'd like to talk to the fire marshals about either doing a hammerhead or adding fire hydrants so that we do not have roads coming and dropping traffic into our streets where we now are allowed to have our kids play in the middle of the street and do softball and all this kind of stuff. That's the way I've lived forever, and I'd just like to continue to see that. I have a meeting next week with the fire marshal to talk about that, and maybe now with this going on, that isn't going to be necessary, but I would like for you guys to consider that, and I appreciate your time. And I appreciate that we've been here 4 times now talking about that. I really appreciate everybody on the council and your helpers.
Thank you for your comments.
Vicki Peterson.
Mayor, City Council, and everyone here. Thank you for listening to us today. Our community is something we're very passionate about, and actually Dana Hobart was one of our biggest fans. He told us never to let anybody touch our neighborhood because it's very special to Rancho Mirage. It's tucked away amongst a hodgepodge of different structures, but yet it's set apart. The atmosphere is that of living in the country, and yet 3 blocks away is the city. It's comprised of custom-built homes, mostly on 1 acre plus lots, zoned estate and equestrian. Over the years, Sinatra owned 15 acres of this proposed subdivision and was going to build a ranch on it. After that, part of this land became a home for abused horses. It is the country equestrian feel that led us all to love this neighborhood. Now we welcome 1 acre parcels surrounding us, but want to make sure that we keep the same feel, the preservation of what this unique property really truly is. It's the last of the horse property in Rancho Mirage. Existing common use trails were formed prior to the city of Rancho Mirage even existing. And I believe new trails were added past Peterson Road with the new builds. However, in the center of these horse trails, a road is being proposed instead of the common use trails, which would no longer connect Elmwood to Nielsen Road, Nielsen to Peterson Road, and on to the 2.4-mile Butler-Abrams Trail. Incidentally, the Butlers lived on Nielsen Road, where the Trombinos now reside. I have a picture in my home painted by Marjorie Nielsen of Nielsen Road, who lived across the street. A well-known architect, Robert Stevens, also lived in the Nielsen home, and I own the last signed modernism home plans that he designed, hoping to build in our community. The Nielsen home is now owned by Janine Barr, who you just heard, who moved here from Clancy Lane because we know what happened there. When we asked the planning department what the proposed road was actually for, they said it was for the large fire truck and utility vehicles. For 60 years, fire trucks, garbage trucks, mail trucks have all made their way in and out of our roads without a problem. Since all of the new homes will have access off of Peterson Road, there isn't really a need for thoroughfare from Peterson to Nielsen and down Nielsen, or from Peterson all the way to Elmwood. The 15-foot easement in existence on the north side between Elmwood and Nielsen, we were told, did not specify horse trail, but it would make sense that 40 feet would have been designated if it was meant to be a road. It makes no sense to break up the horse trail for a road in the middle of the common use horse trails existing already, does it? And I sent a picture. This is the existing horse trail. It's already to the left of my home. You put a road there, and then there's horse trails to the right of my home, so the horse trail goes away with a road.
Kindly conclude your comments, please.
Am I already at 3 minutes? Oh, geez. Okay. All right. All right. In the past, the idea of a road from Elmwood through Nielsen was abandoned twice before getting past the tentative stage map. I suggest a fire hydrant along the utility area and perhaps a hammerhead turnaround on the north end of Elmwood. Our neighborhood here in Rancho Mirage, where many of us have lived for decades, is special to us. Our children grow up safely playing on the streets and enjoying feeding neighborhood horses and goats and chickens. We want our grandchildren to enjoy the same thing. There's a reason why the road that obstructs the middle of our horse trails have been abandoned twice. It changes the feel of our entire community and takes away the freedom of horseback riding trails. The recommendation, we were told by the planning department, of a road was due to the lack of horses in the community now. What I shared at the beginning, that Frank Sinatra had a ranch there and there was a home for abandoned horses there, we want to have that same opportunity to preserve the special location and not take away the ability to ride horses freely in the future. And I just want to say this is so important to us that my husband had a heart procedure this morning at Eisenhower, and we're both here. It's very special. We love this neighborhood, and we really, really want you to preserve it and look at what it really is. And we'll privatize the roads in order to keep it if that's what we need to do. We don't need another cookie-cutter community. We need to take pictures and write about our community in the next coffee table book of Rancho Mirage.
Thank you for your comments.
Thank you for your consideration.
The next speaker is Jack Swenson.
Hello, Mayor, council members. Jack Swenson, live on Peterson Road. Been a resident of Rancho Mirage for 40 years. Lived on Peterson Road for 20 years. Seems like yesterday, though. That's partly my age. But I agree with the last presenter that we like the country feel. My wife and I are generally in favor of this project. We think it's pretty well thought out, and it's a good project. Our concerns are twofold. One, the tamarisk trees at the end of Peterson Road at the dead end have been a place for homeless people to congregate. We would like to see those removed during this project because, you know, it's taken 20 years for nothing to happen so far. This may not be a while before we have more houses there. You know, it's not going to happen in 6 minutes. So we'd like to see safety We'd like to see, less issues with homeless people. And the second thing is we like the country feel. We like the idea of private roads rather than major developments. I agree with the past presenter on that regard. So we hope you consider our thoughts. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments.
Kay Williams.
Good afternoon, Mayor and City Council, and I apologize for anybody who was here during the Planning Commission meeting because this is going to be repetitive. First off, thank you for letting us make comments, and thank you to the neighbors who were able to take the time today to be here and address any concerns and show support. My name's Kay Williams. My husband Ron and I live within the proposed subdivision under discussion today. We too also grew up here near the area, but we built our home on Peterson Road and moved in August of 2001. So we love our little rural area that's so close to the main roads, and we look forward to the homes being built on these residential estate lots. As members of the community, we appreciate the City Council's work, and I only have a couple of items that I wish to address orally. One, as was mentioned, the tamarisk trees at the north end of Peterson must be taken out. They're overgrown, and over the past few winters, the homeless have found it a desirable location. This has led to trash in the area, outright damage of local property, and altercations with individuals with mental health issues. For the proposed homes to be built safely, the tamarisk trees must be removed. Two, it's desired that the lots in the proposed area be cleaned of dead brush for fire prevention. I have emails with code enforcement promising action over the last several years. Three, Peterson is a quiet street. However, when there are accidents or delays on Highway 111, travelers unfamiliar with the area drive speedily down Peterson or Mirage Cove, thinking incorrectly that they are able to get through to other major streets. And so this is why we would appreciate the developer considering placing structures at key points to give drivers a visual clue that they're entering private areas. Four, while researching the development, I noticed there's no mention of the equestrian trail, which is being mentioned. When we built, we were required to put in an equestrian trail split rail fence, as did other neighbors at that time. And so if you drive around the area, some homes have it, some don't. And I don't see a trail designated on any of the maps in attachment 6. Maybe that'll get changed before November 20th. So for the continuity of the area, it seems this needs to be added. And so thank you for your considerations regarding the above statements and to my neighbor's statements. Thank you.
Thank you.
Murray Bryant.
You wanted to use this, right? Okay. Do you think this is fine, or do you want this one?
George, take these things.
Mayor, just noting for the benefit of everyone, there were several speakers that opted not to speak and offered to donate their time to Mr. Bryant. So he's going to be given a little bit of extra time to speak today.
Yes, I told Murray that we would give him a little leeway.
Before I get started, my name is Murray Bryant. I'm glad to see that my odds are only 12-1. I like a good fight, so I'm ready to go here. I'm only kidding, of course. Smile, Mayor Weil. Okay. So my name is Murray Bryant. I am a Rancho Mirage Planning Commissioner, so I want to make that full public disclosure. At the October hearing, Planning Commission hearing, where this subject came up, I not only recused myself but I left the room and did not come back until it was through and it was voted on. So I am here speaking as a private citizen. I own, our house is in this area. The first 5 acres when you go in on Peterson, we share a common property line across Kelly Lane. And so, again, I'm here as a private citizen who has a great interest in this area and you'll hear. So first, I want a quick history and background. Some of it was said by some of the other folks, and I won't repeat all that. My late wife and I bought our property in the fall of '84, a few months before we were married. We didn't live here, but we were in Orange County, but our intent was to come back here, and when we had children, raise our children here, kind of in a country area. And I scoured the entire desert looking for property, and I stumbled on this area and ended up buying it. As they said, this is a unique area. It's the last of its kind in Rancho Mirage. And Ms. Dubik, I know you can say there's other horse property in the city, but out the subject that just came before here, that's all being cut up into small lots, and there are a few properties out there that are zoned for horses, but as an area, and also the history of it, the Butler Ravens Trail was all put in, and so on. It's really the last of its kind. Over the years, my neighbors and I'm the last of the Mohicans. I'm the longest surviving property owner. The properties have changed hands multiple times. The Williams family, they've been here 24 years or so. I'm not sure if Lisa McFadden is here, but her dad bought the property, their house, close to me in the 70s. And so she grew up there, is living back there. But as far as the property has turned hands multiple times. And over the years, we've had a lot of battles with developers trying to come in and cut it up into small lots. Everything from way back when, somebody wanted to put a campground there, and multiple people have bought it. And one of them was when it used to be a Sinatra horse ranch. When we moved here in December of '90, I guess it was, the ranch, Mrs. Sinatra had her 5 or 6 horses there. She came over every Sunday morning and rode, had her friends bring horse trailers in, and they rode up and down the streets. And then later on, when Frank Sinatra passed away, of course, it was sold. And it was sold to someone who wanted to come in and cut up in small lots. They came to me and offered me substantially more than the value of my house, with the proviso that I would support small lots and go to the neighbors and campaign. I told them not only no, but hell no. And further, that if they tried to do it, we would sue. And so I raised a fund, a legal fund, to sue, engaged a land use attorney in Orange County who I'd worked with for many years, and we were prepared to sue everybody and his brother. He eventually went bankrupt and the property was foreclosed, and then it changed hands a few more times. I go into that to show the commitment that I and our neighbors have to keep this a rural area. And there are planning issues, and some of it is a conundrum from a pure technical planning standpoint. There are some issues that have to be resolved, but I think when committed people to a particular goal put their heads together, they can come up with a solution. A final one that we did fight against, unfortunately we lost, was the memory care facility on the corner of Peterson and Mirage Cove. It was very hotly debated. None of the neighbors wanted it, did not belong there. I'm sorry, should I pause for a moment? Is there?
There's a distraction in the back.
You can go ahead.
Okay. All right, you need to add another 15 minutes for me since I was cut off. Okay, all right. So It was residential zone property. The zoning was changed. There was nothing wrong with the facility. It just did not belong there. Unfortunately, and of course none of you were here at that time, the city council was divided. It was 2-2, and it was broken by the mayor at that time. A big mistake, that we have to live with it, but we don't want to see other things like that come in and negatively affect the area. The other one was in, I guess, 13, 14, 15. CV Link was proposing at that time to come in, and had it gone through, it would have been an unmitigated disaster for the city, financially, operationally, aesthetically, and would have violated every principle that I know you all live by, and that is job number one is the residents, to maintain the quality for the residents of Rancho Mirage. I went to, in fact, some folks in Thunderbird Country Club and I formed a political action committee to support the city's fight against CV Link. I went to every CVAG hearing, and at that time, in football parlance, Dana Hobart was the running back and Mayor Weil was the blocking back. They took many hits and many shots. They did not make any friends. And one of the things that Dana Hobart always said is stick by your principles, even if it's going to cause you personal harm. And I'm sure both Mayor Weil and, of course, Dana Hobart did not make any friends by their stand against CV Link. It was eventually voted out, which was the right thing, and then a referendum took place, overwhelmingly supported not to have CV Link. So bringing us up to date, the current owner of this property is Mr. Evangelos Pistoli. He is from Greece. When they bought it 4 or 5 years ago, I did get in contact with him. We had a Zoom call. He was very cordial, and we went over. He said what their points were. He asked what the citizens, what our residents. We talked about the large parcels, 1 acre, equestrian, private streets. He was all for it. And then over the years, his asset manager, I guess, business manager, Mr. Kostas Padas, he and I have had not only many calls, but face-to-face meetings. I talked to him last Saturday. We had a Zoom call. He was in Europe. And going over, again, our neighbors are supportive of this with some of the issues that you heard about, circulation, private streets, and so on. I'm going to go through just some factual things. Some have been covered, so I'll skip over. And again, our neighborhood welcomes the proposed development. They'll enhance the property and maintain and develop the last equestrian country feel area in the city. I know none of you are old enough to remember there was a TV show called Dragnet, and Joe Friday was his name. Now, the staff is going, huh? But anyway, his famous saying was, just the facts, ma'am. Yeah. And so I'm going to give just the facts. It's already been discussed. Get rid of the tapestries, homeless people. Great problem. I look back, I have 40 emails from myself and my neighbors, sheriff, code enforcement, everything else about that. Enough said, they need to come down quickly. They have to do it anyway. It's just get it done soon. Number 2 is maintain the equestrian trails, those that are by deeded easement, and others going back 60 years. And I know that for a fact because the property on my north, which now has a house on it, the 4 acres, was purchased in 44 by a wonderful family from Pasadena, 1944. So he was here through all of that, through when Southern Bird Country Club now was a dude ranch, and the Sinatra Ranch, and so on. And there were many horses back then, and they used the trails. And again, some of them, I understand, they're not dedicated easements, but through common use over 60 years, and we would like to have those continued. And there, as was spoken, they're in common usage, the north end of Elmwood, Peterson, and Elmwood, Nielsen, and Peterson, there was a trail on the north end coming down, and we would like to see that continued. As part of that, do not put a road from the north end of Elmwood to Nielsen to Peterson Road. It would take, one, it would be bad for the developer because they're going to take 40 feet of his property on the north of there, and that's going to devalue his property. It's not needed. And when I say equestrian trails, I also mean walking, hiking, biking, just like the Butler Ravens Trail. It's not just for horses, it's for other things. And it said we would like to see Peterson and Mirage Cove east of Peterson, private streets. The neighbors are 100% for it. It takes a lot of doing to make it happen, but we would like to see that done. And again, even at private streets, whether you have gates or not, even if we had gates, we would always leave access for horses walking. We do not want to cut off. This is a gym for the city and the residents, and we want everybody to be able to come along and walk, bike, hike in there. We're not trying to cut the public off. We would never do that. So no road from the north end of Elmwood to Nielsen to Peterson. It's already been said, cut the weeds down because they're a fire hazard. And it's also being talked about the entry and exit onto Peterson. That's part of it. So desired by our consensus of our neighborhood, again, Peterson Road, north of Mirage Cove, a private street. You can have gates, maybe yes or no. That's another issue. And then Mirage Cove, east of Peterson, to become a private street. Down to Kelly Lane, my street, which is actually private. It's actually a private drive. It serves 2 houses. And with that, no curb and gutters, you know, the country feel like Clancy Lane, if you know going down Clancy Lane. And again, even if we had gates, whether or not we do, it's all open for horses, pedestrians, bicycles, and a few people that have pet ducks that walk their pet ducks along there. We want to maintain that. Thirdly, I know this is not about the houses now, but when that gets around, we would like to not see modern, contemporary, white, flat roof, white boxes there. We'd like to see the Spanish Mediterranean, ranch, farmhouse, modern farmhouse, so on. Fourthly, as someone mentioned, construction of houses may be a few years out, and we would like to see the 2 streets going into going from Peterson north of Mirage Cove on the left and the right-hand side. There's a 2.5 acre piece and a 5 acre piece. Plant some trees and get those going, and that will help the developer because when they start selling, because while it's better to have some trees so people can see it. That's it, and I'd be happy to answer any questions. I know the area very well, and so if you have any questions, be happy to answer any questions.
Thank you, Murray. I think that we appreciate you being here today.
Is there anyone else who would like to provide public testimony on public hearing item 6B? That was the last speaker.
Okay. What we're going to do is I'm now going to call for a motion to continue this item to the next meeting. And so it will be continued. Obviously, there's a lot of complexities that go into this development. You've heard many of them today. The Planning Commission will consider all of those, but they need the time to ferret out the details. And in order to do so, we're going to continue this item until the next meeting. So with that, may I hear a motion to continue the item?
Move to continue item 6B to our next council meeting.
And I'd be happy to second it.
There's a motion and a second to continue the item. Please vote.
Motion carries 5-0.
All right, we thank you all for being here, and this will give time to our planning department to go through all of the items that were reviewed today. So thank you so much. The next item will be on the action calendar, and that will be a revision of the library and observatory collection development policy. And that's going to be handled by Aaron Espinoza, our library and observatory director. Aaron, it's nice to see you up here as opposed to sitting in the audience in your normal position. So welcome and thank you.
Well, thank you, but I'd much enjoy being down there.
I don't, and by the way, I don't doubt that for a moment.
All right. Good afternoon, Mayor, members of City Council, and city staff. Today I'm here to present the Library and Observatory updated collection development policy, which we are asking Council to review and approve to ensure compliance with the California Freedom to Read Act, Assembly Bill 1825. Our mission is to provide free and open access to educational, scientific, and general interest materials for all people of all ages and backgrounds, while maintaining a safe, welcoming environment that encourages reading, learning, and community connection. Under AB 1825, public libraries receiving state funding must have a written, publicly accessible collection development policy in place by January 1st, 2026, or risk losing eligibility for state library funding. To meet this requirement, staff reviewed and updated our policy to reaffirm our commitment to intellectual freedom and to maintaining a balanced, diverse, and inclusive collection that reflects our community. It outlines how materials are selected based on merit and relevance, and includes a clear process for patrons who may wish to request reconsideration of materials. There are no fiscal impacts associated with adopting these updates. The Library and Observatory Advisory Commission has reviewed and approved the revisions and recommends that the City Council do the same. Thank you for your time and support as we ensure that the Rancho Mirage Library and Observatory continues to meet the state requirements while upholding our mission for open access, lifelong learning, and community enrichment for all.
Thank you, Aaron. Are there any public comments on this item?
I did not receive any speaker cards. Is there anyone who would like to provide comments on item 7A? No speakers.
Thank you. And I will say this, Aaron, the library and observatory are probably, two of the greatest assets of our city. I mean, they are, without a doubt, beyond compare and make our city extremely proud. So thank you for all the work that you and your staff do each and every day. And it was commented earlier, I believe, by the Mayor Pro Tem, the amount of programming that the library performs on a day in, day out basis is absolutely remarkable. And it's not just volume, it's quality of the work. So again, thank you so very much for that.
Thank you, sir.
May I hear a motion regarding this item, please?
Public comment.
You have a comment?
No. Mayor, we need to take public comment on this item. Did we do it?
We did. Yes, there are no comments.
I've already asked for that. Is there a motion?
I'll make the motion. Motion to introduce ordinance number next in order, first reading, amending section 9.30.072, collection development policy of chapter 9.3, use of library and observatory, of division 3, offenses against public peace, of title 9, public peace, morals, and welfare of the Rancho Mirage Municipal Code.
I'll second.
There's a motion and a second. Please vote.
And motion carries 5-0.
That concludes the action calendar. We will now go to non-agenda public comments. And who is first request for a speaker?
Wally Melendez?
Hi, everybody. A lot of bad things are happening to our country at this time. Convicted felon Donald Trump is trying to burn the country down so he can rule over the ashes. Mike Johnson, the Speaker of the House, refuses to swear in a House of Representatives member, Delita Grijalva, because him and Trump and the Republicans don't want to release the Epstein files. So they shut the government down. The government is shut right now, and it's been shut for more than a month. Things are not good. Things are going downhill. Convicted felon. I don't know who voted for him. They must be idiots. So everything is being criminalized. The U.S. Marshals have the responsibility to arrest any official of the federal government, but they are under the jurisdiction of the Department of Justice, the Department of Justice, the DOJ, who is run by a sycophant and maniac of convicted felon Donald J. Trump. But good news, yesterday or the day before, there was elections, and a bunch of Democrats got voted in. So thank God for that. So I hope we're all learning our lessons, and I hope that we're not all just thinking of ourselves, but thinking of our country. Thank you very much.
Thank you for your comments.
Kay Williams.
Mr. Mayor, may I? I don't see the timer on here for public comments. Do we have a problem with the timer?
It's in the upper left-hand corner of your
Must
screen.
not be on mine. Okay. I'm sorry. Thank you.
So hi, just a quick comment about your fireworks ordinance or whatever, letting the public know when celebrations are going to be occurring at the country clubs. I love it. We have 2 adopted dogs, and it's nice to know when something's going to happen so that we can plan for it, like this weekend. So thank you.
Thank you.
Susan Ragsdale.
Hello, Mayor and City Council. It's always a pleasure for me to see you. It really is. I kind of almost feel like a family member. It's strange because I have a long relationship with all of you. I know you might not have noticed, but anyway, I want to read what somebody sent me today. This is from the UK, and this is precedent setting. Barnet resident wins court case forcing removal of LED streetlights, once called a conspiracy, now proven toxic to eyes, insects, birds, and bats. I'm a little bit ahead of my time. I've always been this way. I met a guru at Santa Monica Beach in 1974, and it changed my life completely. And then I got into yoga in 1977 on Main Street in Santa Monica, and then I became, they call it whole food, plant-based. Now I went on the macrobiotic diet when I was 28 in order to cure the beginning of cancer, and I was successful, and it's a fabulous knowledge to have. Anyway, I became a chef and all that. But what I wanted to talk about was I had started the last time I was here about how Dana was sitting here, and I had my 150-page report. I had researched it in depth about the harms of blue lights. You know, it's a very, very high wavelength, completely unnatural to any living thing here on our planet, and it's being forced on us in a very, very scary way. And I got so scared about it, seeing it proliferate in the desert, it really hurts my eyes badly. And that's because this blue light goes and zaps the back of the eyeball, and then you get macular degeneration. So I was very concerned, and Dana got it. And he said we should take a 15-minute meeting with her. And so I scheduled it. And unfortunately, Mr. Hagerman didn't take me seriously in any way. And he actually was like trying to get me out of here. I hate to say anything negative. I've written about it, okay? And then all of a sudden, the whole situation changed for me. I became like a hated person that I don't deserve in the least. I'm like one of the most laid back, loving, I'm totally loving. I spent a whole decade creating artwork here in Rancho Mirage on how to be a loving and compassionate person. You got the wrong girl here, and I need help. I'm not doing well. Thank you so much for listening.
Thank you for your comments.
That was the last speaker card. Is there anyone else in the audience who would like to speak on something not on today's agenda? That's the last speaker.
All right, well, that concludes our non-agenda public comment. We are going to, in a moment, recess to our closed session, and I'll ask our city attorney to review the agenda for the closed session.
Thank you, Mayor. We'll be convening in a closed session for the item before you on the agenda listed as 9A, Conference with Legal Counsel, Existing Litigation Pursuant to Government Code Section 54956.9D1, case name unspecified since disclosure may jeopardize existing settlement negotiations.
Thank you. We are now recessed into closed session. We are back in session. I will ask our attorney to review items that were covered.
Thank you, Mayor. No reportable action taken today.
That concludes the meeting. The meeting is adjourned.